Good evening. It is the 11th of October, and we are excited to have Nat with us tonight. We're going to do some Neurographica, and our topic tonight is about grief. And we are going to go over the 7 stages of grief right now. I'd like to start out with a bit of discussion, and that is, I would like to know what everybody's perception or their definition of grief is. So I'm opening this up for discussion for the first little bit here, and we're gonna kind of go over the concept of where we um, where we experience grief and what helps us to move through it. So anyone can unmute themselves and volunteer. What does grief mean to you?
I I I guess grief means to me just dealing with loss and sadness, and I've never really figured out how to navigate that. I've dealt with some serious loss in life, and I kind of just put up a wall and keep on moving. So I don't know what it means to deal with grief. Uh, so tonight might be really interesting.
Yeah. So, as we've been navigating grief over the past month, we've been thinking about, it's not just about loss of life, it's about loss of routine, loss of stability, loss of, we think of also COVID, everybody experienced grief, right? Because people did lose family members or friends, what have you, but we lost freedoms, right? And routine are the way life was, right? So grief is very encompassing um, of loss. I think that when we um, it's also interesting. I've thought about the definitions of the other words that derive from grief, right? Grievances are expressing our displeasure with something, right? And grief is definitely not pleasurable, it's a displeasure. So when we think about the stages that one goes through, you can apply it to so many different hiccups in the road of life. We call this the journey to joy course, right? And our journey to joy has hiccups along the way. And so the 7 stages of grief, there's that shock, the initial shock, initial paralysis at hearing bad news. And you have the denial, trying to avoid the inevitable, anger, the frustrated outpouring of bottled up emotion, bargaining, seeking in vain for a way out of it, and then the depression, the final realization of the inevitable, and then testing, seeking realistic solutions, and then acceptance, finally finding the way forward. So does anyone feel, Jess, I know that you said that you feel like you've bottled up grief and kind of, you've put it into its separate little box and not really dealt with it. At what stage do you think you got stuck?
I don't, maybe around the depression stage. I don't know, maybe testing. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like there's like acceptance along the way, or maybe I don't know. I'm really not sure.
Okay.
No.
Just asking.
It kind of feels like weakness, that I can't handle things when I look at the different stages, like depression, like why can't I handle that loss or that change and that's not coming back.
Yeah. It's that, and it goes back to that stuckness, right? We've talked about when you feel like you're unable to move forward and you're stuck in the cycle. And that's a point where when we are responsible for other people, responsible for you know, our livelihood, responsible for, you know, carrying on. How do we balance? And it's that, you know, in many cases, so put it into a box and set it aside because this is too big to deal with right now, and I'm gonna just do the life things I know I have to do. And in doing that, when do we bring that back up and how do we deal with it? And so the reason I asked Nat to come on is really that how to deal with it, with doing Neurographica, with doing meditation practices, you know, anything that resonates for you. Like Nat said, Neurographica is not for everybody. You know, we find that some people, you know, don't resonate with the Neurographica. They resonate with, you know, other ways of processing. But we like to give Neurographica as a tool. And I know that it has certainly helped us. I tried to do a Neurographica sitting down with Vicky with another client last week, and was doing the Neurographica, and I got frustrated, you know, tossed it across the table and stomped outside, and, you know, did some grounding work outside, and then came back and went about my day of, you know, went about doing the drawing and coloring and what have you. But it's, you know, it's that's the processing. That's the connecting with the emotions, connecting with those neural pathways that are all kind of crisscrossed, and how to deal with it. Leela, do you have any examples of grief in your interpretation of it?
Well, I can only speak for myself. For me, is mostly when I first experience, I'm in a state of shock. I'm going to take the case of my dad, for example, when he passed. But then, like you said, how do you deal with that when he was so young and it was so unexpected? But yet I still had to do all the arrangements. And so I think I never dealt with that either, because I was the oldest. I had to stay strong and not show weakness in front of my mom, and she couldn't show weakness in front of us. So it's I think, to me, it's grief. It's a vicious cycle. And just hearing about the war the other day in Middle East too, like I went right back there. Like I was just stunned. Like,
Yeah.
and I couldn't, like, I got stuff to do and I couldn't do it. But then I'm like, okay, this kids need me, like you said. Like, what do you do when? Do you let them starve? You're responsible for this little human, so you keep going, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I find one of the things that we've struggled with, Vicky and I have struggled with, is short-term memory. You know, during the grieving process, is oh yeah, I was supposed to do that thing, and I just talked about, you know, hey, remind me, I have to do this thing later on today, and it's the, you know, laying down to go to bed or whatever, and going, oh, did we remember to do that thing? Oh no, we didn't. And you know, it's like, it's crossed neural pathways that, like, they're just not doing what they're supposed to, is one of the things that we've experienced. And that feeling, for us especially, I mean, my job is to talk to people a lot of the time, and I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to have to engage with people, because I feel like my energy isn't protected enough to be able to do that. Right. And you know, we will do the things we need to do, go to the store or whatever, but it's still like that. I'll get a phone call, and I got a call earlier from a client that I didn't take the call, and she left messages, you know, and I was just like, oh, I have to deal with this. I have to listen to the messages, and I have to process them. And it's a voicemail, so it's not like it's not like a text where you can go back and read, right? It's a voicemail where you're like, your brain has to process what somebody is saying. And I do that day in and day out. I've done that for years. Before I worked as a homeopath, I worked in a business where I would get voicemails all the time from contractors or, electricians or whatever. And you listen to the voicemail and you know what they need, call them back and tell them what they need to do or whatever. And it's like, it's overwhelming to try and do that right now. And so it's my brain processing isn't there like it has been. So I know that there's blockages to being able to live life the way that I normally do because of the trauma and the experience, So, and Leela, I know that you experienced loss, grief, and trauma as a child in Albania, and I know that Nat, you're an immigrant, and you experienced a whole different set of grief in coming to a new country, having to learn a new language, having to learn a new culture. I consider that grief as well, because it's loss of stability, loss of the life you were used to and now had to adjust to, right? And I think that those 7 stages of grief you go through when you move into a different culture like that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Grief can be experienced with anything actually that you lose in life. Anything that you are used to having and suddenly you don't have it anymore. So it's a change. It's a change in the environment, change in the reality that your psyche needs to process. And it can be a breaking of your favorite mug. Somebody dear to you gave you a mug, or you just bought yourself a mug that you really, really love, and it breaks. And this starts a grieving process for you.
Absolutely. Yep.
And it can be as big as a very traumatic event, losing somebody you love, somebody and the more time you live in this state that was changed, the more emotions you have invested, the more you're used to something that was before, the more difficult it will be to go through the grieving process, because you need to reinvent yourself without
that thing.
Without your emotions, without your thoughts, without your activities that were with the thing that you lost, or the part that you lost. And usually we everything that we have in life, we process it is as a part of us, because it's not really the mug that I miss. I miss my ideas about the mug. I miss what I put in this mug. I miss my emotions and what I see in this mug. Somebody else, like Vonetter, may not care about this mug at all. It may be no attachment to this mug, no emotions. And for her, if it breaks, it doesn't make any difference. Was it what was it before and what is now? So there is, what I'm trying to say is that there is an emotional energy in our ideas, our perceptions of reality that we have to deal with through this change, because reality has changed drastically, reality has experienced, there was some transformation, there was some change in our world, in our reality, and our psychic need to adjust to this
Yep.
new situation. That's what the grieving process is.
You know, we in our practice, we also hear a lot of people who grieve their childhood. You know, the innocence that they lost in childhood, through whether it was sexual abuse, or they had a parent that was not fully present, or they had, you know, they had things that were not in their control that they lost. I realized that as you were talking about the mug, right? I was sharing earlier today with Orion here that my brother-in-law had taught me how to blacksmith. I had made a knife. I was so proud of that knife and was excited. I showed it to some of our family up in Spokane, and I left it on the back of the truck, and we drove to go have lunch, and it fell off the truck somewhere and I lost it. And even today, as I was showing it, you know, I realized I was grieving the loss of that, because it was something I had made myself, and, you know, had have had to let go of. Well, you know, I'm not going to have that knife again, and I have to let go of that. But it's still one of those that it's like, oh, I wish that wouldn't have happened, you know. And it's grief is part of that. I wish that wouldn't have happened. I wish that something was different about that situation. So it's really the natural process of life, where, you know, we experience things that are a part of change and a part of life, but our precious, you know, gentle souls are not quite ready to experience.
Yes, it's our psyche. It's the way we see the world, the way we perceive this reality, and the way we perceive ourselves in this reality. Because as I said with the mug experience, for somebody, it will not affect them. And for somebody, it will be a lot of difficulties in their perceptions of the world, how they see this reality, the new reality. And the more they are attached to this object that is gone, the more they associate themselves with this object, the more they find themselves, their own values, their own definitions of themselves in this object that is gone, the more difficult it will be for them.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a good point to start drawing, and we will talk more about that. If you are ready, I'm switching my camera, and so you can see. And oh, I have a shadow, so this is my camera. So I guess we will have to deal with this shadow. Okay, don't mind shadow. I guess I didn't think about this, but I don't have the other lamp for now. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see if maybe this is a little bit better. Okay, so what we will start with, first, I want you to get grounded. So put your feet on the floor and imagine that there is a line going from the center in your body, going down through your legs, through your feet, and connecting to the ground. It is a difficult process. Grieving is a difficult process. And I would like to ask you, if you get triggered at any point, please be mindful about yourself and return to this grounding exercise, what we just did. ground yourself and stay present, and remember that you are here now. Whatever has been before, it has passed, and we are now in the current moment. So you can come back, open your eyes, and you can get a big or small paper, it doesn't matter. If you feel that the grieving process for you is very difficult, the one that you're choosing to work with. So choose one, somebody or something, an object or a person who you're grieving to work for us to work with, and rate yourself on a scale from 0 to 10. Okay, so if you can rate yourself, and usually what I do is like this: 0, 10. 0 is no grief at all, and 10 is the most grief you can experience. Let me know where are you on this scale. And this is intuitive, whatever number comes up for you. Can you tell me where are you now? I am at a 5. 10, tell me, okay, this is pretty intense. I don't see the chat, let's see. Vonetter is 7, okay. Okay, 8, Leila. Okay, so it's pretty high. So I will propose to you in your paper, if it's not very small, draw inside of it like a frame, another rectangle, so that whatever we'll be working on looks like it's a picture. It's on maybe on a screen of a TV, inside a frame, but you are not being too much into it. I want us to be gentle and not to go into being triggered. Later on, if you want to repeat this class, or if right now you don't have it a grief at very high numbers, you can skip the frame. So this is only a step for you to feel this a little bit of distance between you and a lot of the emotions. And then the next part will be somewhere on this, inside the rectangle, we'll draw a circle that will represent yourself. So find a place and hover your marker first over, and we're going to hand draw the circle, and the size doesn't really matter, but it can be any corner, any part. Just see where you want to draw it. And this will be you or I or me. And then we're gonna draw another circle that is gonna be representing the object or person we are grieving about. And check for yourself how big it is, how small it is, how close it is to you. They can be overlapping, they can be very far apart. Just draw a circle and then we'll talk, analyze. Just draw a circle for the other participants. And this is day or whatever it is for you. So the other participants. Okay. As we spoke now, just now, we are grieving about the reality that used to be when this part was present in our life. This participant was present in our life at some time, during some time, and we are grieving, and this we are used to having them and used to seeing ourselves with them and thinking about ourselves with them. And this is what we will be working with, because they are already in a different realm. They went on to be somewhere, and different beliefs, depending what your beliefs are, may explain it differently. But we are left here and in this realm, and we still carry the attachment. We still carry with us the emotional or the energetic attachments that we used to have to this object. It doesn't help us to still keep continuously think about this with heavy feelings, heavy emotions, and energetically doesn't help us. Like Vonetter said, she doesn't have enough capacity to function in life, because a lot of her energy is invested in this, in the situation where how it used to be. The same thing, the same way goes to this other participant. They are stuck somehow energetically attached to us, and they cannot move on. So for us and for them, it will be much nicer, better to release this energy. And all we are doing, we are not changing how we feel, what we feel about them. We are not changing our love or our grief. We are just taking back the energy that we have invested, so we can bring it back to us and we can start functioning. And how are we going to do it? So we'll start by drawing neural lines, and I'm just very quickly going to show what neural lines are. You have seen clouds, and the clouds lines are not predictable. They can go in very unexpected direction, and they are never wrong or right. The same way neural line goes in, it doesn't create any repetitive pattern. So repetitive pattern will be a line that is like a wave and it's repeating itself. So this is not a neural line, and it can be less or more wavy, but it's repeating itself, and that's not what we want. We want something that is not repeating itself. Clouds, if you think of clouds, will be a good, very close to neural lines. And we will start by drawing neural lines and breathing, special breathing we'll do at the same time. So when we breathe in, breathe out, no, when we breathe out, sorry, breathe in, will draw in all my psychic energy, your psychic energy, from them to me, and will draw a line. So let me show you. Breathing in doesn't matter through your mouth or your nose. Just imagine when you're breathing in, draw a neural line from them to you. And imagine you're taking all the psychic energy, all that that are unnecessary attachment back to you, attachments. And then the other way, when breathing out, we're gonna send them love and gratitude, sending with our breath and imagining that it's coming from our heart. And let's repeat it. So breathing in, taking back the psychic energy. The line goes from them, to through me, and goes somewhere to the edge of the frame that we have created. And then breathe out, send them gratitude. Gratitude is, as you know, the very powerful emotion. And just repeat this as slowly or as fast as you can breathe. Breathing out, sending gratitude. Breathing in, take back the energy. Breathing out, send them gratitude. So the energy we're taking in, it's not their energy. It's our own energy that we have invested in this situation to hold the past, to still be stuck in the past and not being able to move on. So let's do a few more. Taking back the energy and out, sending them gratitude. And always check in with yourself. How do you feel? I would love to hear do you have any sensations, emotions, thoughts when you're doing it? And the next step we will do is where you have crossings of two lines, we will start rounding. So there are 4 corners. We will do little rainbow shape, little circular shape, and fill in the area. So it's like a nexus. It's connecting the 2 lines. And we'll start doing it everywhere where we have crossings. Just don't do the frame. The frame, we're not gonna round if you have done the frame. If you don't have a frame, your lines are connecting to the edges of the paper. They're not stopping in somewhere, and you don't round them. If the areas are very small and you can hardly round them, just fill them in with the marker. Whatever marker you started with, keep on using the same marker for the entire drawing, the same color marker. like Vonette said, some grieving processes can be longer, some can be shorter, but it's very important for us to not get stuck. Grief is an emotion that comes to us to show us that there is a very big event that has happened in our life, and we need to pause, to pay attention. There is important stuff happening. We have experienced big shift, huge change, and we need to stop. We need to assess the situation. We need to give ourselves time to notice what has happened and to reinvent ourselves, to be able to process and move on. And that's why our bodies are in a slow motion, our minds are in a slow motion, because we need this time. We need this time to see who we have become after this event. Old labels, old patterns will not work for us anymore. And we need time. If we don't have this pause and we keep on running and doing all the routine things that we used to do, we will get into an illusional reality. We will not be able to process. And some people may get crazy, not stable, not able to assess what is real and what is not real anymore. Because they just don't want to accept it.
So then Nat, how much time is enough?
Time is different for everybody. So I've heard that in psychology, they say 9 months of grieving is considered enough, but so you should not expect yourself to be done before 9 months.
So, some cultures say that it's a year cycle for grieving, and in some cultures they also wear the clothes of grieving. Wear a black dress for a year. Yeah, some of them have to wear a black dress for a year.
That's
Other cultures
in Albania.
Yeah, other cultures are much more in touch with how to process through grief than we in the Western world really are. It's carried over in some religions and such, but for the most part, it's not something that that we're taught how to do, right? Unless it's come through our culture. And it's interesting because part of the other day we were having a discussion here in the household with Vicky's daughter and Orion, and we're all like, the question was, what is time? What's your definition of time? It's, we all let time dictate. Are we late? Are we early? Are we on time for something? We let time be a deciding factor in so many things. How long is the amount of time that you're supposed to grieve? How long is the amount of time that you're supposed to, try doing something before you throw in the towel and say, I failed at it, or, you know, is time really, is time really tangible? Is it something that we have to base healing on, or that we have to base success on? All of those things, you know. And so it's been a very interesting discussion, that we each had our own definition of, you know. I just, when I just said, what is time, Vicky goes, it's silly. And it is, you know, it's a silly concept of measuring our day by, you know. So many of us concern ourselves with time that we actually miss out on special moments with our children, moments that, oh, we have to make it to school on time, we have to make it, you know, to our work on time, and that causes to bed on time, you know. All of these things become pressures on us. When you look at all other cultures, oh, the sun is going down, it's time, you know, it is time to go in to the teepee because we don't want to get eaten by the night animals or whatever, you know. It's like that was important for them, you know, because they knew that that's how they survived. But so often we're so centered on time, we're not actually paying attention to what the needs of our children are. You know, sometimes we're pressuring them because we have to get to work, or we have to, you know, do XYZ, and not really being present for them or ourselves.
Yes, correct. Absolutely agree with you. Everybody has different, there is no time for how long you need to grieve, and it's all up to you. Especially, you don't have to get concerned with what is normal, what is not normal. There is nothing normal here. And I wanted to show you, so the 5 stages of grief, what Vonetter said, first was shock, right? And then the second was anger. The third was depression. No.
It's an extent. Mine is the 7, because they extended, they added it's the denial is second, and then anger.
Okay, so whatever the stages are, 6 or 7 or whatever. So
Yep.
you are expected to go through them one by one by one by one. But what actually happens is a lot of people can skip, and they can go here and then here and then here. It's like a neural line all over the place. And we started with the question, where do you think you are? Well, you may be at several places at the same time. You may be depressed, and you still may be in another place at the same time, trying to deal with it. And maybe you go back and then you go forward. There is it's not a straight line. It's for everybody is very, very individual. And when, even after years of grieving, many years of grieving, you can start to let go, or still be having things that you need to shift. And I constantly see people who are coming and say, oh, I've dealt with it and I've worked with it for so long, and I thought everything is okay, and I'm not being triggered about it anymore. And then when they draw Neurographica with me, they discovered, oh yes, and here I still have something that is blocked. So it's not, it's like peeling of an onion. You can do only so much, whatever you are ready to do today or at a certain moment. And it will depend how much your psychic is ready to do, but the next day, the process doesn't stop. The process is ongoing. What is the most important thing is for you to observe, not to judge, but just to observe what's going on and to not to deny what is going on. And if today you are depressed, and just let yourself be depressed, because tomorrow you may be something else, and your body will, if you are attuned to listening to your body is the perfect guide. Your body knows what the next step is and what to do next. And as speaking about our bodies, please do a scan and see what you feel in your body, what you're experiencing in your body right now. Get grounded. And is it some, do you have a place that is hot? Do you have itchiness? Do you have, my cheeks are itchy right now. Maybe you have some tension in your back, in your shoulders. Just notice that and keep on noticing, keep on, you don't have to do anything about it. Just noticing it is what is important. Being present, be present to what is going on in your body. And tell me how you feel about your grief, about the whole drawing right now. How does it feel emotionally or anything in your body? I feel a lot of tension in my upper back and my neck as well. How are you?
I feel definitely like there's more release of tension, and especially, you know, as I'm doing the rounding, I'm feeling calmer. And I realized when I started doing the breath work and the neural lines that I've been clenching a lot, you know, and just tightness in my neck and shoulders. And I've, part of this whole time, I've been experiencing an issue with my neck where I couldn't turn my head very far. One day I just jerked wrong and, you know, had a tension that happened, and have been nursing that along throughout this, and just tension across my back, the mid back and stuff. It's all been things that I've had before that Vicki and I have had numerous discussions about it. It's like we tell clients, you know, that's a return of old symptoms because you've had a trauma. And that's true, you know, truly what has happened for us is we have old things that have resurfaced because that's what our body was trained to do the last time we experienced a trauma. And so I felt very strongly that the Neurographica is going to be key in helping to change those trauma responses, so that this is not, you know, the thing that happens the next time there's a trauma experience.
Yes, thank you. Exactly. So what has been healing already, it still needs support of your body, support of your energy. But now that you have the shock of trauma, your energy is going toward the new thing, and it's taking away from the healing process that used to be. I can feel release of the clenching that I have left, like holding on to the grief. Yes, yes, you wrote it. Thank you. Yes, that's what the breathing was. Can you tell me, was the breathing helpful with the breath we actually can move a lot of energy, and combining it with Neurographica, it's very beneficial. How did you feel about the breathing with Neurolines?
Oh, wonderful. It really helped feel the connection and the release all at the same time.
Yes, good. Very good. And the gratitude is experiencing gratitude is ultimate release. It's more than love, because around love we have different understandings and a lot of misunderstandings. But with gratitude, we are just letting it go, releasing everything. And Tammy is experiencing release, definite clenching. Clenching and neck pain. Like I have to keep my mouth shut over so many things with people. Yes. Yes. Just notice it, how it is. And you're noticing the pattern already. Very good. Okay. So the next, if you want to keep on rounding, but we have few more steps. Next step, when you think about the other party and imagine them in a new place where they have moved on, depending on your understanding. It can be maybe another lifetime, maybe the other world. But remember, it's just your perception. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be necessarily like accepted from your religion or everybody around you, just your perception about where they are right now. And let's help them think of what they may need right now to help them to give them resources. Maybe you can invite angels, maybe some other relatives who also move on to the other side. Think about what may help them. What do you think they may need right now? And I'm thinking about angels, and we will draw circles for whatever you want to give them as support. And you can draw big or small circle, doesn't matter. Just hover over and see how. So my circle is gonna go outside of the paper. Yours can be inside, and you can have several. So I want to have another circle here that is smaller. And so this will be help from angels, and this will be another type of help from whom? From people. But people who have experienced the same thing and who have gone through this and have gained wisdom and understanding, or gained new perspective, new ground. Because when we move and we find ourselves in the new space and rediscover ourselves, we find more strength, we are more empowered because of the experiences we have been through and the wisdom and understandings we have gained. And the more people are able to go through this, it accumulates in the energetic field. Some people call it Akashic records, but the more people are able to gain success from from moving through grief, it's easier for the rest of us. And it doesn't matter if we are related, like if your kids, children, or relatives see you, how you deal with this, they may learn how to deal with it themselves. Or people who are not related, just through the ether, through this field of information, this information is going through to us. It's coming through to us. And we may not know how, may not understand how the mechanisms, but it is being shared. We are all connected on so many levels, and this, especially on the energetic, and energy is information as well.
We like to say the universal consciousness that we're all connected with.
Yes, exactly. So who did you draw? Anger and, okay, Leila is saying anger and clenched teeth, so I don't scream. Yes, please be grounded. Feel yourself that you're sitting on the chair is supporting you, and feel you're here, present and now. You are now, it's not the past anymore. You're here now. You can hug yourself, touch yourself on the shoulders, on the arms, just for your body to feel safe and supported. Okay, so who did you draw? If you want to share, what circles did you draw for? And you can keep on adding more circles if they're coming. Your ancestors, your relatives. There's so many people who were there before you, and they're still able to support and guide. So after you have done 1 or 2 or more circles for this other participant, let's look over ourselves. What do you need right now to support you and to help you? And it can be a hug, or other people, or somebody special, a person, or a toy that you love, or a butterfly, a fairy, another angel. Ask yourself, maybe close your eyes and imagine, what do you need? What support do you need right now for you? And bring this support with another circle, bring it in the drawing. And for me, this is understanding from other people of where I am, what am I experiencing, just for them to know what is going on and to hear it, to see it. This is what I need, to be seen. And for you, it may be different. It may be, you can think of the people that you have helped with, Vonetter and Vicky. You've been helping so many people, and you have, they're grateful to you for your help. And you can draw this gratitude from other people. And I'm also going to draw this because I'm also a teacher, an instructor and coach. and I have helped a lot of people, and I know they're grateful. But even if you are not a teacher, you have helped other people. You have helped your children. You have helped people at work or at school. There are people who are grateful for you, so you can remind yourself that you're valuable and you want to keep helping them, and you need this energy. You need to know who you are, to keep on helping other people. And it's interesting that this circle for me went outside of the frame that I have created in the beginning. And the frame was just the safe container, but just to be able to see the grief from a distance, not to drown in it. But of course, our reality is more than just this frame. We are, it continues over and over and over. So in other Neurographica, if you have done, we don't have this frame. This is just for particular reason here. Okay, and if you want to add more circles to yourself for support, were you able to find support for you? Yes? Good. How does it feel? Do you need more support? Do you calming? Good, good. How, scan your body and see what it is. Is it still clenching? Is it still tight? It's different, right? Okay, good. So just notice your, how is your breathing maybe? And now we can start coloring. And the way we color in Neurographica is that we create a color several, I cannot find the color that I want. Okay, we color several cells that are together with one color going over the black lines that connect them. We need at least 2 or more cells that are together, so that do not color each segment different color. Connect them in bigger meanings, in bigger shapes. And the way you choose colors is intuitively. So just choose whatever colors resonate with you. Again, don't judge them. Experience them. When you color with those colors, see what you feel, what the color reminds you of, or just sensations in your body that you feel when you are using this color. And sensations can be pleasant, unpleasant, just accept them. Emotions may be still negative or positive. Accept them and let them be. They have message for you. Helping you move through whatever is going on. Just be observer. Don't judge. And you can color different circles with different colors, or create like a flow through the whole drawing. And it's an interesting brown color that I got. It's like, I've never used brown colors in my Neurographica drawings. I have so many brown color pencils that are not used from different sets. But here we go. I'm using brown. Brown can be about discipline and structure. Another interesting color. Rouge, Tuscan rouge. Oh, interesting. Any emotions, any thoughts that are coming up for you, just notice them and say how interesting they're coming. Because, and you will start noticing that they are not you, they are just thoughts, and you are observing them. Don't need to associate with yourself with them, but just observe them. Even if you have judgment, oh, this drawing is better than this drawing, or this line is better than this line. How interesting. Be curious and keep observing. Grief is usually associated with lungs. Vonetter probably knows this. I forgot to mention. That's why breathing exercises are, that's why I chose the breathing exercise. It's important to breathe through grief, especially. You may have problems with lungs and COVID, since we experience so much grief, like Vonetter said, because of our rights were taken away. A lot of people have had lung problems. And just something else to be mindful about. Well, I have a lot of dark colors that I don't usually use in my drawings. Very interesting. And this is kind of dark burgundy red. Those are muddy colors to me. Something. When you color, if you want to turn your pencil kind of on a side, it will be easier to color. And I want to get some green with this. So this is blue green, not exactly green. Notice again, keep on noticing your body. My back is relaxed now. Not so many tension. You can leave parts of the drawing white. White is also a color, or you can color it completely. And every time you draw on, even on the same topic, you will want to do different. You will see that your drawing come up different colors and different intensity. Some will have more colors, some will have less colors. The lighter the drawing usually will mean that it's emotionally getting easier for you. But don't, it's better to have emotions on paper than to carry them like negative emotions to be stuck inside of you. So color as much as you want and don't let yourself stop. Colors can mix. One color can go over another color. They don't have to stop. So they can blend and mix with each other.
Now it's interesting. I put one of the colors I just naturally chose because it's the heart chakra color is green, and then you said, you reminded me that it's the respiratory grief is held in the respiratory system, and green is for the respiratory system as well.
Yes.
So
Very good. Yes. Well, mine turned out to be not green. I did not see this color clearly. It's blue. And blue is for the throat chakra to speak out.
right.
Yes. And so if you remember when I was drawing, I wanted people to hear me. I wanted people to understand what I'm going through. So speaking out is, and saying my truth is what the message here is for me with the blue. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Thank you for inviting me to do this drawing with you, Vonette and Vicky.
Well, thank you so much for coming to do this. It's been very, very helpful. And I'm grateful that we have tools like this that can help us through things.
It was very interesting when synchronistically, Vonette asked me to come to do this class, and then she was on Facebook and she saw while we were talking, she saw that I have a post about the same class. One client just asked me a question about can Neurographica help release grief, and I decided to answer to post the answer on Facebook. That's how exactly few hours before Vonetter called me.
Yeah. Yes, it was literally 2 hours before you had posted that. So it was perfect.
Yes.
Let's see if I can find that post.
Our reality.
It was on it was on your Neurographica page, right?
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, so next thing that we are gonna do, next step is here. So how are you doing? Few words. How is everybody doing? Tammy? Leila? Yes, Tammy.
I'm releasing. I feel a lot less tension. I can move a little more and I've unclenched.
Okay.
So that's fabulous. I think the coloring, I can't be in a bad mood if I'm coloring. It just brings me a lot of joy.
Good, very good. Leila?
Yeah, the unclenching, it's gone. Just the right side of the neck right now.
Mhm.
Actually, I'm coloring a lot more this time than the last class I tried to do. So I
Mhm.
thank you.
Okay, so the right side is the feminine side.
No, male, male. Right
Right.
side is male.
Are you sharing a screen? Oh,
I
you're
am sharing the screen.
Okay.
Check this out, all. Here it is. This was her post. Powerful tool for dealing with grief. But I had the idea like the day before to call her, and it just happened to be that the timing that I had to be able to contact her was 2 hours after she had posted this.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's just a confirmation. It was meant to be, and I feel very good and grateful that you remembered about me and invited me. Thank you. So again, and just observing what is going on, what the reality is showing us, because it's not. There is communication going on at all the time, and if we are present and we are paying attention, we see the signs. Okay, next step in Neurographica, we draw thicker lines that are called field lines, and they can go over existing lines or creating new lines or partially. They're also going to be neural lines, meaning they're not straight, they're unpredictable. Just squint your eyes and hover over and see where your hand wants to go. And can go over existing or create new lines. Just make those lines thicker. They need to stand out. They're bringing these blessings from the universe, these synchronicities that what Vonetter just told us about, that what happened to me and Vonetter, means that we are on the right track. And let's do another one. And again, make it thicker. And with those lines, the universal power lines, as we call them, we can, again, as we draw them, we can express gratitude. We can see ourselves receiving blessing and support from the universe. We need to make sure that we round those and integrate them, connect them with the other lines very carefully so that the universe is gentle with us and we receive gentle support, not a jerky wake-up call. We need to, so we hear these messages, we hear the signs, we see the signs on time and can go into direction, move into direction that we are supposed to be moving, where it is safe to move, where our intuition is working and we are reacting the best possible way, and we are receiving also all the best things that we need to from the universe. And you can turn your drawing around just to make sure that you haven't missed any of the roundings. And put it away or make a picture of it. When you see it on the picture on the phone, you may see some things that are not rounded. So those are gratitude. You can do, just feel grateful for what you have. And the last part will be something that you want to highlight. So at the end, when you look back on how you felt before, when you look back on the object or person that you are grieving, and through all the process that we have done, what is the most important thing? What stands out for you? It may be on the drawing, it may be just in your mind. Do you know what is the highlight of this process that we just did for you?
For me, it was really, the initial steps of drawing the connection, and then the breathing, and moving the lines through. I think that was very helpful.
What is the realization that you got, aha moment or insight that you got for you on your own situation?
I mean, through it all, I think the biggest comfort has been that, while the physical body isn't with us, the soul still is, and that spirit being present for us, as comfort, and to know that, we're all, joined together and closer, as a family. And I think just the, knowing of connection, I think.
Okay, how do you want to show this connection on the drawing, on your drawing?
I think on my drawing, what I felt strongly about in doing the coloring was that the coloring carries through the two circles, definitely, that were the original, the two of us originally, right? And carrying that through, was
Hey.
important to me.
So, okay, good. So you may emphasize the two circles, make them bolder, thicker. Tammy, what is it for you? What is the emphasis of your drawing for you?
I don't feel so alone as I did when we started. I felt like I was carrying the whole burden myself, the whole grief, when I know a lot of it is shared. It's not all mine. And then I have.
Oh, wonderful. You have the green and very nice. Okay, so what circle or circles do you want to emphasize?
Me.
Yourself. Very good.
Myself.
Yeah.
And because I felt a lot of healing as we put the other circles, because I have me and then I have this overwhelming big one. So then I put 4 little ones, or 4 medium, I guess, angel circles. around it that are about the same size as me, but that are supporting.
Yes, okay. So you can enlarge yourself if you want, or you can just highlight, make it thicker, the line thicker around yourself. Okay, good. Leila, so we're talking about the shape or something on your drawing, a circle or maybe different shape that you see that represents for you something important, the most important, the outcome of the drawing. Oh, can you unmute yourself?
Sorry.
Mhm.
I'm not understanding what are you asking. This is where I'm at right now.
Okay. Yes, good. Okay. It's beautiful. I love the colors in the circles. It looks very flowy. Tell me, what out of those circles, which one is the most important for you right now?
The angel circles, which are with the purple and the green over there. There's
Okay.
two. And this is my father.
Okay. So, can you, what I'm going to show you is to make one of those or both of them thicker. And for me, I had this gratitude from other people here, but I want to make it a bigger circle, including myself in it. And I'm just going to make this whole circle thicker.
Okay.
Because it's very important for me right now. I feel drawn to this gratitude, and I feel that I'm with this gratitude, I'm bigger. And this is another neural line just here. So I'm just making this circle thicker, kind of the thickness of the field lines, and also I'm gonna round it, round everything again, because once I make it thicker, it dissolves some of the roundings. Doesn't have to be perfect. So you can do two of the angels. You can do two of the circles thicker, not just one of them, but two of them. Make them thicker. And this will be an emphasis, something that will remind you of what is supporting you, what is the new state that you gain from this drawing, the new understanding that there are angels around your father or Leila, or the connection that Vonetter feels, deeper connection, or the feeling that you're not alone for Tammy. So for each of us, it will be different, but we want to emphasize and make it stronger because it's the new discovery for who we are right now and how we see the situation right now. It's not the old one that we started with, it's the new state. And this is where we want to go. This is where we want to be anchored in and progress toward, get more established in. And then you can use a color to add another color over your drawing to make this circle or circles brighter. I know they already have several colors, but if you choose one color to color over the rest of them, creating this one more congruent shape, so that your mind will remember there is a way forward. There is something that you just discovered that can move you forward through the grieving process. If you want to repeat this drawing, you can do at any time, and you will see it's going to be different. You can repeat it with the same person, object, or with a different one. So now look at your drawing again and see how you feel. How does it feel? I really feel empowered. I really feel like I have gained a lot of my energy back that I was investing into grieving process, and I'm standing out from, I'm stronger, I'm empowered, and I have more resources. I have abilities to move on, not to get stuck in this situation. So I'm curious to hear about, oh, we have one more step, so. Okay. So now, remember that we had the scale from 0 to 10. If you could go back and reassess yourself right now, in this moment, right now, on a scale from 0 to 10, where are you right now? And it's a grief, how much you grieve. 0 is no grief, and 10 is very unacceptable, like overboard. 6, good. 5, okay, and mine has moved to 3. Very good. So Tammy was, how much were you before? Was it 8? Tammy was 10 and moved to 6. Very good.
That was pretty good.
Layla was 8 and moved to 5. Good. Very good. I'm very happy. Okay. So you, if you choose to, you can work on this drawing more and share them with me. I'm on Facebook, and oh, Vonetter is okay. Beautiful. How much?
I have rounding to do.
Yes, you have more rounding, but it's beautiful. It's very full. It's beautiful colors. I love the colors, gentle. And do you like the drawing, Vonetter?
Yes, I'm very happy with it. I'm going to continue doing more colors on it.
Good. How do you rate yourself from 0 to 10?
I would say I was at a 7 before, and I would say in the range of like 3 or 4. Definitely, not.
Great.
It's just more peace,
Yeah, you sound a lot more relaxed. You sound like lighter and very happy. Great. And at the end, if you want to send your pictures, your drawings to me, or we can connect on Facebook. I am in the group that when I created for these meetings, those meetings.
Yes. On the Journey to Joy group. Go ahead and post.
The Journey to Joy group. I'm not lead there. And if you need any coaching with Neurographica or any other modalities, I'm also transformational coach. I coach not just with Neurographica, but using other techniques that are very powerful.
Yes.
And I have classes this Saturday. I have a class in Neurographica about falling leaves, and I know Tammy is excited to see me there.
Oh, yes.
So it's gonna be very, very philosophical, this class. So we'll look at life, and it's going to be connected to what we did today. It's a good the continuation of the exploration that we have done right now with this class, to go forward, to move forward and rediscover ourselves. I love this smile, Leila. Good.
I
Yeah.
was told by Vanette and Vicky it's rare, but so yeah, I'm glad it worked.
Good.
I was able to finish quite a bit because I was on your class for in August, something about Lionsgate.
The Lionsgate, yeah.
I could not do that one. But this one, I guess I didn't need the money. I needed more to release the grief than the money.
Yes, yes. Well, it's I tried to make it simple today.
Oh, this was excellent. It was really good.
And yeah, thank you for the feedback. Leila, were you able to breathe in and out when you were drawing in the beginning? Was it, were you able to connect with the breath and the lines?
It's kind of difficult for me right now because I'm having breathing problems, as you can tell by my voice.
Okay, sorry.
But I'm breathing a lot better at the moment, and water and grounding helped quite a bit. So, like I said, it's a
Yeah.
lot of release.
Good, very good.
Thank you so much.
Well, I wish you recover fast, and also glad that you were here. Thank you for sharing. It was very helpful. Appreciate your sharing. Thank you.
Thank
Tammy,
you.
yes, Tammy is busy. Vonette, do you have anything at the end? I think
No, we will next class will address remedies that are for grief, and the not so much just grief, but feeling stuck, in whatever it is you're experiencing. Really, why anybody comes for homeopathy is they feel stuck, not able to move through something.
yeah. Feeling stuck is very, very popular topic right now. I can see a lot of people feeling stuck, and
Yeah,
it's just overwhelming. Everybody, everywhere.
I think we're on this precipice of people releasing old belief systems and having to, figure out where their soul really wants to go, and where their energy is best serving them. And some people, recognizing that the career paths that they've chosen are not, in alignment with what their soul's purpose is. People choose, finding that the rat race is not healthy for them. And then there's the people who have resistance to that, resistance to change, resistance to looking inward and finding what they're resonating with. And I think it's just the energy of the planet right now that everybody is really more in that state than we've seen previously.
Yes, yes, the veil is lifting and people are seeing things and understanding things, and all of a sudden they find themselves in a situation they did not expect to find themselves. But so many things are coming out, and what we were taught, what we thought we knew, and now it's all different. It's very difficult for people to accept and to move forward. Yes. And it's all about understanding of the reality. What is our world? What is our life? Who we are? Part of this whole thing. And long time ago, before 2012 happened, there were a lot of predictions about the end of the world and ascension, and who is going to ascend, who is not going to ascend, who's going to make it, who's not going to make it. And then a lot of people were saying that about service to self versus service to others. How people who are in service to others have the chance to make the ascension cut, and people who are in service to self, it went a lot more deeper. This is just one, I think it's true, but the more time goes, I see that there is a lot of depth in this statement, because since we are all connected, and there is no way of some people making it and some people not making it. It's gonna happen to everybody, and we are all depending on each other. We cannot have a tree with apples and in your garden, in your backyard, and hungry people going around and not getting apples. So it's not going to happen. We need to help others more, and by helping others, we are helping ourselves on so many levels. So
Yep, I agree.
Question.
I agree. And yes.
Well, you're talking about, I'm gonna use like the pandemic, like you said. What do you do with the guilt? Like, I feel guilty if I get through grief and then people throw it back on me, or, you know, if I'm improving my life and other people aren't. And I feel bombarded lately with that. Like, I'm supposed to fix their drama, their trauma, their choice to neglect and change, and they don't like me changing. And it's a lot.
Yeah, that is, you know, it's the self-awareness of the only person that you are responsible for is yourself. And it's that, remember we had the discussion, caring versus compassion. You can have compassion for them all day long, compassion for the position that they're in, the position they've gotten themselves into. But the minute you start with that negative emotion of caring, what the outcome of their choices is, you're lowering your energy level as well, right? Your vibrational level. And that's where it does get challenging. I understand, you know, the weight that can put on you, and the tension that can create with you and that person. But we are only ever responsible for our own energy and reactions to other people's energy.
Thank you.
Tami, what is the problem for you? How would you describe the situation? What kind of problem does it create for you?
I think it creates that guilt. You know, because they're like, well, you're not doing enough for me, and you're not fixing my life, and now I'm in this predicament. Okay, that had nothing to do with me. I wasn't there. I am here for you, but I can't. You know, it's like I can take the horse to water, but I can't drown him in it. And and just, I think letting that go in myself. I have to give myself permission not to feel guilty for choices I've made in the past.
That's another point, actually, is definitely letting go of the past and living in the present, because the universal consciousness doesn't know the past. It only cares about the present. And so when we're letting ourselves get into that, guilt is only about the past. So when we allow ourselves to get sucked into that living in the past, that's where, you know, we lower our vibration to allow guilt in. And I know it's easier said than done. Believe me, I'm one of the biggest people guilty of letting guilt be my, guide in some situations, right? But the Cygnus has been one of the biggest components in this, in helping this awareness become more present for me, because there have been moments of that guilt and that feeling of that weight on me. And Cygnus is like, you can't let that be the thing that that weighs on you, because it's about the past. And when we release that past experiences and what has gone on before, and we live in the present and live in that joy of being present, we can release that. It's harder said than done in my but again, Cygnus would be like, that's your belief system, is that it's harder said than done. And it's like, okay, you're right. And I have to reprogram my brain. And that's, it's largely because I was raised that way. And, it's that repeating of patterns and having to break those patterns.
I know, I remember we talked about my dad. I'm the only girl. My dad expects me to keep the family running smoothly. And, my stepmom's very congenial with the exes and the exes and the exes. Everyone's at the holidays, and not everyone gets along, especially when there's alcohol, but somehow now my dad's expecting me to take on this role of, and I can't. I'm like, it's not my problem. Their life, their choices. I can't control that. If they don't like what I do, that's not on me. That's on them, and then we moved, and I'm still struggling with having to sell the ranch, which was my choice because we needed to be here with the daughters and his parents. And yet they'll call and be like, well, I'm in this situation. Aren't you going to fix it? Like right now, and I'm going, I didn't put you in that situation. So I think I'm just allowing all that, really sadly, to cover me, and it's bringing up a lot of loss, of grief, of choices. So this class was just perfect. I didn't mean to ramble on about all that, but that was my thing with the guilt.
So it sounds like you're drawing 2.0 should be about some guilt there.
Yes. And Tammy, I just want to point out to you, so there is a lot of judgment. And who is this coming from? Somebody from your childhood, when you were judged not good enough by your parents, and now you're judging yourself, imposing this guilt on yourself. You still have the voice from your childhood that they're talking to you. And so the moment here is, right now, we only have this much time to live, and sooner or later you will let go of this judgment. And why not do it sooner? And why not do it now? And if and if your father or somebody really come and start expressing their unsatisfaction or whatever, you have the choice to take it or not to take it.
I would certainly in that situation say, hey, I'm living in the present. That was in the past, and the choices I make for me now are healthier choices for myself. And if you are not, able to understand that, it's not healthy.
Yeah. And then with our daughters, they'll call and it's like, Corey was trying to mow the other day. Oh, it won't start. And the blade's bent. And I did this. And I'm like, I'm 3 hours away. I can't come help you. Like, what are you going to do? Or because Kane decided to start eating the butt paste. I'm like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. This is a good discussion.
Thank you. Yes. Have a
Yep.
wonderful evening. And
Yes.
thank you again for having me.
Thank you for pinch hitting for me.
I'm gonna sit down and do this later.
What, Vicky?
I'm gonna sit down and do this later. Well, it'll be tomorrow.
Oh, you haven't, you weren't drawing. Okay.
I was cooking.
Okay. What did you cook?
The oven. It's carrots and parsnips and onion and little meatloaves, and I'm gonna make some boiled and smashed and fried potatoes.
Oh, amazing. Are you in the new house or are you in your daughter's?
No, this is the house I was in Texas.
Okay.
So my daughter is here now. Yeah.
Okay, Vicky, it was nice to see you. Thank you. And Vonetter too, and everybody.
Thank you, Nat.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.